Hello, today we're going to be making honey fermented garlic. This is one of the easiest recipes you can possibly make with honey. It only takes 2 ingredients: garlic, which I like to get from local farmers markets, and raw local honey. Being the bee man, I of course have my own. Now, this is one of the simplest recipes you can do. All you have to do is basically open the garlic, peel it, and stick it in a mason jar and cover it with honey. Now, any mason jar will work. I happen to have one with an airlock to let the gases escape from fermentation. But you can use any mason jar, just make sure once a day to loosen the lid to let it burp. By letting it burp, that allows the gases to escape so that way you don't explode your mason jar. Make sure you sanitize it. I have some sanitizer that I use in my own home brewing. It's no rinse sanitizer, but any sanitizer will work as long as you make sure that you have it clean. So basically, I'll give you the recipe right at the start, and then you can just watch the video to see how I do it. All you do is open up the garlic, throw it in there, pour the honey on it, let it sit for 3 days. Do not touch it for 3 days other than to let this burp. After 3 days, you'll notice some bubbles starting to form, and at that point, you want to stir it or flip it once a day up until a week. After a week, you should be good to enjoy it. And then after that, you can have some fun with your honey fermented garlic. Okay, you're going to want a big chef's knife like this. And then I have a waste bowl for me to put the any waste in that I peel off from this. And of course, there's no set amount of garlic. It's however much you want to make. How much do you think you can use with this? And you know, a lot of people use this for whenever they get colds or stuff like that. It's supposed to really help boost your immune system. So basically, you want to peel the actual clove apart. You can slice the top part like that, and that gets it apart much more easily than just open it up. So we're going to pop off all of the cloves here. Now, to easily peel garlic, you want to take it and basically smash it. That does 2 things. One, that makes it very easy to peel, and second, it releases something called allicin within the garlic, and that activates it. It's a defense mechanism where the garlic thinks it's being eaten, so it releases allicin, and it actually is really good for your immune system. That's where you get a lot of the health benefits. What I do is I cut off this nub first, and then take it, smash it. That is now peeled. All you do is drop it in. And you don't want to crush it too badly. You want to leave the body fairly well intact because you will be eating these, and you don't want to have to fish out little tiny little pieces. So only smash it just enough to get the shell off and to activate the allicin. And the reason why you do this, bacteria and microbes cannot grow in honey. So it actually is a pretty ideal medium for fermenting. So in other forms of pickling, you use either a saltwater brine or vinegar. And the reason you do that is that that stuff inhibits the growth of bacteria. You know, dry aged steaks, they use temperature to inhibit bacterial growth by leaving it in a fridge for the 28 days. So for this, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out the small pieces like that are imperfections. With this, your honey is what prevents bad bacteria from growing. Now, you know, it is going to be fermenting, so it's not like there's going to be nothing in there. And of course, make sure you're always doing this at your own risk. But it's fairly safe. Don't feed it to kids under 2. The one thing that does survive in honey, there's a form of botulism that survives in it, but it's the strain that humans are naturally immune to. by the time I think we're 2 or 3, we develop the immunity cells to it. So that's why adults are able to eat raw honey without much risk to their safety, but that's why babies aren't allowed to have it, because they haven't developed the good bacteria in their bellies and stuff that fights off botulism. So if you ever wondered why babies aren't allowed to have local honey, that's why. Okay, that's 1 clove of garlic. As you can see, it's not very high up in my jar. This is a half-gallon mason jar. And off camera, I'm going to do a lot more than this. So all you do is take the honey, pour it on. Just enough to cover it. You don't want to go too much more than that, because, like I said, when the honey does inevitably crystallize, all honey crystallizes, all good honey at least, you don't want to have to go fishing. Then you put it on and burp it every few days. And that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this recipe and can learn from it, and let me know how it turns out when you try it at home.